So the first step to creating a histogram is to create the bins that your data is going to be put into. So these bins are the ones that are going along the x-axis. So there's a few general rules that we have for binning. The first is that bins have to be the same size. More complicated histograms at higher levels might mess with some of these rules, but for our purposes, it's really important that the bins are the same size. We also want between 5 to 10 bins. We don't want fewer than that. If you only have 2 bins, it just doesn't tell you very much. It's like having 2 bars side by side. And if you have like 20 bins, it's going to start to get really complicated, and your data is just going to be broken up into a really large amount that's not going to be very helpful. So we're going to try to create bins that are so that we have about 5 or 10 in total. And then the last one is that we want to start and end on nice numbers. Usually that's like 5s and 10s. So going 5, 10, 15, 20, or 10, 20, 30, 40. So we're going to work through this example in the next couple of videos here. So the example is that Mrs. Wall has her grade 12 class track their average time spent on homework each night, and here's the results from all of her students. And we need to decide how are we going to bin this data here. Well, we start by finding the smallest and the largest data points. What's the smallest data point? What's the largest data point? Let's start with the smallest. Just scanning through the list, I think I see that 24 is the smallest, so 24 minutes is the smallest average time spent on homework. And what's the largest? Again, scanning through the list, it looks like, to me, I see that it's 66 minutes is the largest. So how many bins should we use? Well, we could do 10-minute bin sizes. 10-minute bins. So that would take us from 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50, 50 to 60, and then we'll have to go up to 60 to 70 to fit that 66 point. That leaves us with 5 bins. So it's on the low end of our range, but I think that works really well. The other option we probably have is to do 5-minute bins. In this case, we would get 10 bins. That would also be acceptable. That's on the higher end of our scale, but I think we're going to go with 5 just to keep things simple for this example. So we've decided how big our bins are going to be. Now what we're going to do is create a table so that we can figure out how many values are in each bin. So start by writing down our bins. So our first bin is going to be 20 to 29 minutes. Notice that I'm just going up to 29 because we have these nice whole numbers of minutes. So there's no confusion about does 30 minutes end up in the first bin or the second. Now everything that's in the 20s is in the first bin, everything that's in the 30s is the second, and so on. So 40 to 49, 50 to 59, 60 to 69, and 70. No, we don't have to go up one more because our largest value is 66. So those are our 5 bins. Now what we're going to do is just count the number that are in each bin. So how many of these values are in 20 to 29 minutes? So I'm going to scan through the list. I see 1 here, so that's 1, 2, 3. So I see 3, a total of 3 values between 20 and 29 minutes. Let's do the same with 30 to 39. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I see 4. 40 to 49. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's 10 between 40 and 49. And we're just doing a quick count. Between 50 and 59, there's 2. 60 to 69, there's just 1. So now I have all my bins set up, and I have how many of these data points are going to go into each bin. I've basically done all the early work I need before I'm ready to graph my or to start making my graph for the histogram.